Oh,
Trying to find
all right, we're live, dude.
photos. Hi.
Y'all,
We're live.
yeah, y'all are seeing.
There we go.
Steven's actually working today.
Got articles that I brought up for this today.
Yeah, thanks for sharing those with me, by the way.
Yeah, I did it on my tablet, which I realized I haven't hooked up to the internet yet because it's or to the email yet because it's a brand new gift. But for Christmas, thank you, Santa. Bottom line is, I went through the last 30 years, the last year of mortgage headlines to kind of do a recoup of the year. I thought that could be kind of fun.
Funny, I'm doing just a gloss or a cursory look at 2020 real estate out in the Dripping Springs area. So
nice. All right,
there you go. Our men's are on the same thought. But anyway, let's get started with what we usually do, which is, guys, It's after hours real estate, and the whole point of having this thing after 5 o'clock was so that we could drink beer and not feel bad about it. So what are you drinking today, Mr. Babcock?
You know what? I had a 2 o'clock meeting. I was finished around 3. Then I got finished with the busy work at like 3:45, and I
started drinking early.
I called my wife and said, "Hey, baby, I got to go get some beer because I got this tonight." She goes, "Oh, I got you some." I was like, "Really? Love you. Thank you very much. What'd you get me?" She goes, "Why? It was on sale. I got you some Coors Light." I was like, "You know what? God bless you. It's on sale." So
you know what?
I'm Rocky Blue Cold Rockies Coors Light for me tonight.
That is a good woman.
Yeah.
Keep her around. Keep her around.
She's amazing.
So this time when it gets cold, and I've told you this, I typically like to drink darker beers, and I've been drinking a lot of what have I been drinking? Last Stand coffee porter, which I really like. There's 2 or 3 12 Fox beers that I really like. Julie and Betty are both dark beers, and then their stout right now is really good. But today I'm up from your neck of the woods. Let me remind myself, where Grand Rapids, Michigan is where this comes from.
Well, northern than where I was from. But
the Founders Porter.
Good stuff.
I have a hard time finding it, but actually it's really not. It's pretty light drinking. Let me rephrase that. It's not
pretty heavy.
Well, it's heavy compared to Coors Light. Yes, that's a fact. But man, it's just a really good porter. I found it the other day, and I'm really impressed by it. And then the other one that I picked up and that I'm impressed by is Bell's, which is also up in Michigan somewhere. I can't think. But they have a stout that I really like. And for me, the best beer, hands down, for me, is the Abyss, which is made by Widmer in Portland, Oregon. And they put it out once a year, and it's been raked like the top 10 beers in the world pretty much every year that it's out, right? One of the things, like, they brew it with blackstrap molasses and things like that. They also put in a little bit of brewer's licorice, and I love licorice. And so this the Bell's, I can't remember the name of it, but it's their stout, Kalamazoo.
Yeah, Kalamazoo, man, that's great.
And they have a little bit of licorice in it, and man, it finishes like the Abyss. It's not as rich and deep like the Abyss is, but it finishes like that, and it's clean with a little bit of licorice on there. Oh man, I'm gonna tell you what, that's good beer.
You know what? Anything with licorice in it, and count me out. So you're on your own.
See, there's a lot of people like that. It's licorice is one of those things. Either you love it or you hate it.
I mean, like, Twizzlers are good, but pretty much any other kind of licorice I've had.
Okay,
that's not all sugar, right? It's gotta be all sugar.
We're gonna fight, man. We're gonna fight. Red Twizzlers is not licorice.
Well, then I don't like licorice.
Okay, there is no licorice other than black licorice.
Fine.
Don't nobody come at me with this red licorice thing.
It's the closest I can get. We don't have to fight. That's the best I can
do. I'm very, very specific about my licorice and what I love and what I hate. And black licorice. I don't know. Both my grandfathers liked it. My dad likes it. I love it. One of my brothers hates it, so evidently it's not genetic. I don't know.
Hey, you know what? At least it's cheap for people like you. So
that's right. That's right.
You want
a ton of it.
Sell it.
Yeah. That's it.
Before we started this, we were talking about soft mortgage pulls.
Yes.
You want to just type in, soft credit pull or something like that? I don't know. It pulls in a few more eyeballs, right?
It does. Thank you, Shelley. Twizzler is not licorice.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You know, I'm
Thank
just
you.
trying to
Just saying.
relate to him. The guy's just crazy for eating licorice anyway. So, you know, I was just trying to be nice, to be honest. You're just calling me out, making me look like a jerk when I was trying to be nice.
I am.
Okay. So I've been doing this since 2012.
Yep.
Never once have I heard of doing a soft mortgage credit pull. I just heard that mortgage pulls hurt your credit score, right? And typically they do because they do hard credit pulls.
That's
What I
right.
did not know was that there was a difference between a soft and a hard pull. I kind of knew, but I didn't really know.
Right.
Apparently, with the soft pull, you could have 1,000,000 pulls a second for the rest of your life, and it won't do anything to your credit score. Now, actually, if that happened, there might be some kind of
Yeah, it probably would. Your point stays. It's
yeah, but in other words, soft pulls don't affect your credit score, but hard pulls definitely do.
Affected by lowering the credit score, correct?
Yeah, it depends. The problem with giving an answer to, you know, what does it affect, right? Well, obviously it affects the score, but okay, how many points? Right? Well, the problem with that is, what was your state beforehand? Did you have too many inquiries, and did this just send you over a certain, you know, kind of threshold that they had, which now just dumped you? I mean, it's I've seen between 3 and 15 credit points, depending on situation. But I've also heard of some being like 50. You know, they're just like, nope, don't give them a house, kind of thing.
So typically, it's not going to affect you in a huge way, but it could push you over potentially if you're close.
By the way, it's one of the most misunderstood things out there. In fact, I've only run into one realtor, so I'm going to put you on the spot. I hope you don't mind. I've only wanted to run into one realtor ever that actually knows the answer to this. And in fact, I can't remember the answer, so you could actually make me look bad right now. How many days do you get to do mortgage pulls, hard mortgage pulls, before it starts hurting your credit score?
You can get the way it's been explained to me, and I'm trying to not screw this up now. If you are shopping for a mortgage, I think you've got 14 or 15 days, and any credit pulled in that time, the computer algorithm kind of sees as one score or one pull rather.
Your answer is the correct answer. It's missing a lot that I don't quite have the answers to. What's frustrating is that each of the 3 bureaus treats the time period differently.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. So it's there. One of them is 30 days.
Oh, okay.
One of them is 15 days. And for the life of me, I cannot remember the third one. I think it's 31 days or 28 or something stupid like that. I can't remember, honestly. Could be 45, but it doesn't matter, because what that means is one of your 3 scores is getting bashed after 15 days.
So you've got 15 days to get all the pulls that you need done, hard pulls that you need done. Right.
You don't have any more than 15 days. It's not 30 days for all 3 of them. It's 30 days for 2 of the 3 of them, and I think it's 2. I know certainly one of the 3.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, right? But bottom line is, this
here's your question.
Oh yeah. You know if you're getting a soft or a hard pull, because the person doing it will tell you they're doing a soft or a hard pull, right? If you're going to do a mortgage, you know what? Actually, I take that back. It's not that simple. Sorry, I didn't mean to make it that simple. I didn't even know as a mortgage lender this was a possibility until April of this year when we got it. So
the first time I had heard of them was this year.
Yeah, I mean, they've been around forever, but not the mortgages that I know of, right?
Okay.
The problem with the soft pull, that I understood at least, was that it wasn't the same algorithm as the hard pull, so you wouldn't get an accurate credit score. And you know, I mean, because they don't work the same way, right? Why even have a hard pull otherwise, right? So the big concern when we first got the soft pulls was, you know, okay, fine, if I'm going to pull the credit and the guy's a 700, and then I pull the hard pull later and he's a 650, like you're gonna knock us off our seats, right? You know, it's a nice way of saying it. Create some enemies here, right? But I've never had that happen. It's always been the exact same score. It's never been off by a point even.
And so do you just denote it when you request it that it's a soft pull?
No, in fact, here's the funny part about all this. And I was about to say this and I said start the video earlier, right?
Yeah.
It costs us less money to do a soft pull than it does to do a hard pull.
Oh, well.
And then we don't have to pay the full price on the hard pull. We just pay an upgrade fee, which ends up being a little bit more expensive than the hard pull. But you'd be very surprised at how many applicants don't get approved. It's about 4 out of 5 that apply on average in the United States are not going to be approved. Okay?
Wow.
For some reason or another, right?
Okay.
So now you're telling me that I only have to pay 11% more to do the 2 of them. but I get to save like 40 something percent if I by doing the soft pull. It's a huge savings. I don't know why more mortgage companies don't do it. If anything, I just haven't really done a good job getting the word out there that I do soft mortgage pulls. I won't affect your credit score for you to get a trip on the ride, see how your score looks, see how everything looks.
Right on.
So fun. There you go.
Interesting. There you go. Now you know. See, and that's people. This is kind of usually how this show goes. Is before we get on, we're kind of talking and shooting the bull, and then that leads into, hey, let's talk about that live. So there you go. That wasn't planned. It's just part of doing business.
Yeah. So I got all these articles though.
Oh, Shelly's asking why not do it if it's not accurate. Shelly, what he's saying is it's been accurate for him.
Yeah, it's never been inaccurate since we started doing it.
No.
Okay.
All right, give me an article, or else I'm going to start talking about Dripping Springs.
Well, all right. My first article here is going to be from, let's see. I'm going to go all the way over here. It's going to be from December of 2019. Okay. Mortgage rates hold steady to close out 2019. Here's what next year may hold.
Okay.
Dude, they had no idea.
What did the article say?
What's funny is I didn't go quite into
end of 2019. End of 2019, rates were around 3 3/8 to 3.5. Do I remember that correctly?
Something like that. Yes, you're right around there. Sure. The low interest rate environment won't necessarily mean that buying a home will be a cheap proposition. So they were expecting that prices would go up. What they were not expecting is that there wouldn't be as many buyers like there weren't this year. They didn't see that coming at all.
Got you. Hey, real quick. This is a friend of mine that I work out with, Lou. If you soft pull followed by a hard pull, is it multiple requests, or are they still just counting that hard pull as one request?
Great question. But again, it doesn't matter how many soft pulls you do. You could do a billion a second, and it doesn't do anything to your score. So all that really matters is the one hard pull you do later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great question.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So they were totally off on how many homes would be on the market. They were not off on how much that they thought it would appreciate in value, the homes this year. But that was a pretty safe bet. So this wasn't really saying much. You know what I mean?
But and then you also got to look at when that was written, because we were making predictions. And there's an analyst that I listen to who works with Independence Title, Mark Sprague. And Mark Sprague, he's been giving these talks about, and he usually does them twice a year, kind of where are we with the housing market, what's driving it, and looking forward to what's going to happen. And you're welcome, Lou. And he always phrases it like a baseball game. Hey, we're in this inning. In terms of appreciation, and the housing market is going up. And what he always ends with is what he always ends with. I'm drinking a porter for you, Michael. What he always ends with is, unless something absurd happens. In other words, unless there is some kind of complete crazy thing that happens in the global economy, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. And
I always ask him every year, going back 4 or 5 years, what would have to happen to do this? And he always says, frankly, I don't know, to hurt the Austin market, because Austin is
pretty insulated.
Yeah, we're insulated. We've got so many different fields here that, like, if we had another technology bubble, it would hurt us a little bit. It wouldn't really hurt us all that much. If we had a oil and gas bust, it would hurt us a little bit, not that much. We've got so many different industries here that we're really insulated overall. And so the answer was always, it would have to be globally catastrophic. And he never knew what that was. We found out this year what that was. But here's the crazy thing. We were making predictions. There was something globally catastrophic that happened, and the damn market went through the roof. It didn't go down.
Right.
That's the crazy thing.
Did you hear that the U.S. Open had one really, really angry board member? I guess they were just,
U.S. Open is the golf tournament?
A tennis, I believe.
Tennis, yeah.
I know it's the tennis. That's what I'm trying to say. I hope it's U.S. Open.
Okay.
But I read this article in April. Well, apparently, they had one board member who was just a pain in the ass that insisted for the last 17 years that they buy this extraordinarily expensive
Insurance?
pandemic insurance.
No way.
And so they had like 2.5 times the event paid for by insurance companies, like months before the event happened. It was unbelievable.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day, right?
Yeah, I mean, over 17 years, it's probably not a great chance, but historically speaking, at least. But
Well,
eventually, I guess eventually.
And that actually reminds me of another insurance story, Hurricane Harvey. Okay, everybody remembers Hurricane Harvey. Houston had 36 inches of rain in like 20 hours or something. It was something ridiculous, and all of Houston floated off basically. I've got a friend, Wendy,
Yeah.
Wendy and Miguel.
Oh, Jansky, heck yeah.
Yeah. So Wendy grew up in Pearland. Her parents, I think, built the house 40 years ago, have had flood insurance on the house for 40 years. And everybody, well, why are you getting flood insurance? They're like, well, it's so cheap. It's stupid not to have it. They weren't in a floodway, nothing. This or that year, Hurricane Harvey, the growth of Houston finally caught up and the water flooded their house. They were the only people, I think, in the neighborhood that had flood insurance. And just about the entire neighborhood flooded. So there you go. A fight almost broke out about liquor. So
yeah. So I got flood insurance after my home flooded. That was also not in a floodplain. And then of course it never happened again.
The one in West Creek.
Yeah.
Y'all flooded?
It flooded 3 months after we moved in. We took measures.
Did y'all back up to the creek over there?
Nope.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize y'all got that much water.
Yeah, no, it was in October 2013, 2012, 2013.
Yeah, I remember that because I was in the backyard making sure that water coming off of our hill wasn't running into our sunroom.
Yeah, I think everybody was. That was
a lot of water.
I was up north with the in-laws watching it on TV, and I got a call from the guy taking care of my dogs. It was stuck at my house. I couldn't get out, and there was water coming in. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
That's insane. Oh yeah, Shelly and Robert were in Houston at that time.
Messed up. Now I want that to happen again because the lake level's so low. I can't even use my. Yeah. Anyways, first world problems. So
first world problems.
Yeah, definitely first world problems. So, brother, next article. This one's 1 year later.
Okay.
So 2019's end. It was December 28th, 2019, and they're talking about the year wrap up. Hey, this is what you can expect next year. Everything is great. Okay.
3 months before coronavirus.
Right. This one.
Buyers begin to get cold feet because the prices were going up. And I remember that being talked about nationally, but again, we're so insulated that everybody around here was talking about, well, our buyer's going to get cold feet because that's what's happening everywhere else. And so, but the interest rates were basically level over that time. They were still around 3.5% or just under.
Dude, I just had a CMA done for our home. So I'd like to do a refinance, and I just wanted to see. I only put 5% down.
Yeah.
And it's a $312,000 home, and we bought it in January, and the CMA came back at $360,000.
Hey, how about your 20% down?
I'm at 81. I'm almost there. I need 1 more percent. Like, you've got to be kidding me, right?
Yeah. No, man.
You've got to be. How long can this last? As far as I care, I'm sorry. I don't. I'm from Detroit. Don't forget it. And man, everything was great when I was growing up. We were roaring. And then when I was in college, they were ripping down houses and making farmland. So I don't know. I mean, I guess the whole city was revolving all around one industry, though, cars, right? Car industry.
Yep.
I guess we're insulated here to a certain degree because we're more rounded out. But just because I've seen it, I just always have this sour taste in my mouth. Like, hey, 10% was great this year, but what about next year, right?
Now, but here's the thing overall. Do you know what happened to the Austin market during the tech bubble in 98, 99?
I heard it stayed the same, didn't it?
Stayed level. You know what happened to Austin 2007, 2008, 2009?
Stayed the same.
Stayed the same. In the history of the Austin area home market.
Well, the 80s, they had a big crash, didn't they?
I think that stayed fairly level as well. I would have to go back and look at that. But again, Mark Sprague was the one that was showing us this. If it dropped, it was incremental, because his point was, and this is back 3 and 4 years ago when everybody's going, how long can it last? How long can it last? And he's going, look, and he was showing us again, locally, we've never really had a bad housing market. We average 3% Austin area year over year increase. And when it's a bad year nationally, economically, and the housing market, it levels in Austin. Even when it's the tech bubble and the major industry in Austin is tech in the late 90s, it leveled out. So it could have dropped marginally in the 80s, but it wasn't a major thing. And so here's what I'm gonna kind of pop this other screen on real quick, and this is what I want to show. Now, this is just 78737, 78620, and 78619, which is kind of the Dripping Springs to Driftwood area. Okay, starting in Belterra, High Point, out to Dripping Springs, down to Driftwood. Can you see this chart?
Yes.
Okay, this is January 2015.
Wow.
On this side. This is 5 years ago, and this is July, now December of 2021 or 2020. Sorry. So you can see median value was somewhere over here. Okay, around 400, just under, depending. Median value now is technically up over 500,000, and in a month snapshot is close to $600,000 in Dripping Springs. That's 5 years of growth. Okay, what's causing it? What's causing it?
Funny. What else? What other kind of investment can you put 5% down on, or 3% down? Buy it at 400 and sell it at 600. It's crazy. By the way, I'm seeing the comments. Amy, you're the best there ever could be or has been. Thank you. You're like the gift that keeps giving. You're amazing. Thank you. I love you. If I could give you a referral or something, I would. Is
that Amy Simpson?
My Lord, I would. Yeah. You're amazing, amazing, amazing.
Here's the thing that I want to compare it to. So that was the median price going up. This is the number of listings starting in January 2015, and this is where we are right now.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Okay, so guys, this is the listings, and I've told you this before. Right now, by and large, majority of the listings are houses that have not been finished construction yet.
Yeah, you know what?
Here's the raw data. Look at the raw data. Active listings, and this is 15 going to 20. Look at 20. It's pretty normal until May. And then look what happens after May. When all these other years are going up, this is dropping like a rock. 99 listings at the end of November. December numbers aren't in yet.
So I have lost more loans this month than I have in my entire career to builders. The buyers are unable to find homes going traditional, just making an offer on a home somebody's trying to sell. So they go to the builder so they don't have to worry about it. And every time I start off as a much better financier, right? Even though the builders are giving incentives, I use down payment assistance programs, and we get them far better incentives at far better rates. And every time now, the builders have not only, this is what they do, is they say, okay, well, your lender has to tell us what program they're using. Otherwise, we're not going to give you the incentives. So I have to give them all my cards
right.
of my own client, right? So of course I do it. And then they copy me. So they go to the webpage, they get certified for the programs I've gotten. It's a lot of work, man, but they're doing it. And the last time they did it, this person was getting 6% down payment assistance at a 3% interest rate. They had a 641 credit score.
Good.
Okay. So that's hard to work with anyways, right there. I mean, it's not hard to work with, but your rate's going to be 5% unless you're using this down payment assistance program, right?
Yep.
And they copied the down payment program. They did the MCC credit, which is the tax credit that gives you money for the next 30 years, right? And then they gave a $7,000 builder bonus on top.
Wow.
I mean, I would have been unethical to ask them to stay with me. It was like, okay,
yeah.
Well,
oh yeah.
I would leave me. Yeah, I'm not worth $7,000 under anywhere. I mean, sorry, I'm just not. So I mean, I'd like to think I am, but no way. But they're getting. I don't understand it, to be honest with you. They're running out of inventory as soon as they can list it, yet they're giving so many incentives that they're competing more than they ever have. So I just don't quite understand it.
Well, it's easy to understand, man.
Enlighten me, please.
What did I just show you about the price of houses going up?
They can sell for enormous prices.
That's what I'm saying. So it doesn't matter if they're giving away 6%. They don't care.
I guess
their
the
margins.
Time to do that is when you need the sales, not when you're in abundance. You know, that's like.
When they need the sale. Here's the other thing: when they need the sales, they'll make a deal. Right now, how much money I've been able to get off of houses from new builders this year?
Really?
I think all year, I think I may have been able to make a deal on like 2 houses that were new builds. Other than that, I'll go in and I will try every trick that I know. Builders are not having it. They're like, we'll just sell it to the next person.
I have this great program. It's a one-time close program. So you can go VA, FHA, USDA, conventional.
That's right.
Yeah, please.
Let's go talk to them.
In this program, you lock in at today's interest rates. So, war breaks up tomorrow and the rates shoot up or whatever. You're locked in. Doesn't matter, even though the home's not even finished being built yet.
Right.
And then the home is built. And by the way, the whole time we've been giving the money to the builder so they didn't have to go get a hard money loan, which is very expensive, right? And I have a client right now who was wanting to use me. I still think might be wanting to use me. But, found one builder that never answered their phone, custom builder. We called for like 2 weeks. Both of us did. Nothing. Great. Fine. Moving on. Went to the next builder. Guy seems nice. Great. Fine. We have a meeting with them. He says during the meeting, "Oh, whoa, wait a minute. You need me to promise my price up front?" Yes, we do. Sorry. If I can't, what happens if the price of lumber goes up again, like it did when coronavirus hits? I can't do that.
Dude, you're charging 30% and you're worried about the lumber going up 10? Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
Yeah, and so the clients call me back and he's like, "Hey man, have you had any talk with that guy?" And I'm like, "Well, he said he would cooperate," because he did. And that wasn't exactly how it happened, but the bottom line is this builder is not willing, or at least seems to not be willing to use me, mainly because I guess maybe because the values are going up so fast. I don't understand. I really don't understand it, but he's told me that he must be able to change the sales price on his client. Which just, I don't know, man. It's getting crazy out there. Let's put it that way. And I can't do that with my program, so I might not be the lender for this guy, which is really why I was like, I don't know if he's my client anymore. But I tried to explain it to him. I was like, listen, I'm not so sure I would chase it, this idea. I mean, what can he raise it to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and
builders and you two gorgeous gentlemen. How does that work?
I'll get to this in a second. The thing is, and this is what drives me up the wall, and it's hard explaining this to clients at this point, but generally speaking, I can get a lot better deal at a builder than anybody else. I mean, well, than the normal person,
Agreed.
And this year I've got clients coming to me going, "Okay, I want to get a great deal from a builder." And I just have to explain to them, like, there's no way. You're at their mercy. Well, why? Everything's negotiable. Not right now.
Yeah.
They got I went with a client to, who was the builder? Shoot. It's over in Easton Park. It's not Ashton Woods. I can't remember who it was now. Anyway, they're building little, essentially standalone condo units, little bitty 1,000 square foot things. We had an appointment with the builder when they opened at 10 in the morning on a Saturday. We were in there for 30 minutes. There was a line of people outside waiting to get in. The builder had somebody at the door going, "If you don't have an appointment, we cannot take you." They had appointments all day long.
Dude, you should just park there all day.
I've thought about that. I don't know.
Outside. Give the builders a case of beer. Be like, "Listen, it's gonna get rough today. I'll see what I can do for you."
Yeah, I'll show them around. And I've got some builder reps that would let me do that. I know they would. Anyway, so Michael, here's the answer to your question from a real estate agent perspective. If you go into a builder, and I know you're in Dripping Springs, so I'm just going to pick one, Taylor Morrison. You go into Taylor Morrison, and I've got a great relationship with Rebecca over there. If you go into Taylor Morrison, you're going to meet with a sales rep, just like you would if you went to a car lot and you were meeting with somebody that was going to sell you a car. That person has got the builder's bottom line as their ultimate goal. They are trained very well. And again, nothing against any sales agents. They do exactly what they're supposed to do, what they're told to do, and they get compensated well for it. But at the end of the day, they know exactly what they can give you. They know how to negotiate against people that come in and want to buy a house from them. And they can tell you, yep, I'll throw in this for free. I'll throw in this for free. The whole while knowing that they're just getting you, as long as they get to their bottom line, it doesn't matter. And the general consumer just doesn't understand what pressure points to hit, what things to ask for that are negotiable, what's not negotiable. And again, that's in a standard market. At the end of the day, the difference between me and them or any other agent is when you walk into a sales office, if you are dealing one-on-one with a builder, you are dealing with somebody who is responsible to their shareholders, their stockholders, and the bottom line. They do not have your best interest in mind. If you walk in there with a real estate agent, you've got somebody that's actually looking out for your benefit.
Now, listen, you're biased. You're biased. You get paid for that. So
I do.
I don't. So I'll tell everybody.
I get paid well.
Take a realtor with you. Well, I'm not biased on that. I promise. I don't even have to know the realtor, and they don't have to send me the loan. Honestly, you are legally represented when you go in with a realtor. If you do not, you're not. So, and furthermore, the builder will pay for the realtor. You will not, and he can't tell you that anymore, but I can.
Michael, the answer is yes, and not only can you, but you should.
Yeah,
you should have
without a realtor. Period. Don't do it.
No, you're fine. If you're gonna go, visit with a builder. I mean, you may start, this spring, whatever, going out and looking and trying to make plans. If they ask you if you are represented, tell them yes. Silver bullet. Tell them yes. And it doesn't matter. You can give them my name and end up putting a different agent on the contract. It doesn't matter. Just tell them who, or you tell them that you are represented. Case in point, I've got a friend who called me at the beginning of December and said, hey, Chris, I've got friends who screwed up. They went and talked to a builder. They got into the contract. Now they're basically the buildings on them made a mistake. They wanted to bring me in after the fact to represent them to kind of get things straightened out. My hands are tied. I can't do anything. And they're, now obviously I'm talking to them on the side, telling them what to ask for, when to ask for it, how to do the deal. But I'm doing that because I guess I'm a nice guy because I'm not getting a damn thing for it. Maybe they'll buy me a case of beer. But they are not able to have, and it's the same thing with the lawyer. If you go in, if you don't have a lawyer representation that you can put on paperwork, I mean, you can sue them later after the fact with a lawyer, but that lawyer is not going to get anything from them. So
let me tell you a story real fast. If you're finished with yours,
I think I am. Sure.
Well, if you're not, it's all right. The year is 2013. My mother-in-law, bless her, is offering us a 20% down payment on a home that my wife and I are going to buy. Right?
Better know that up front.
God bless you, mother-in-law. Phyllis, I love you if you're hearing this. And her daughter, my sister-in-law, was a realtor at the time. My wife was not. And so we used my sister-in-law, right? And we went to go visit some condominiums that I was working for a lender. He was the preferred lender with these condominiums. There was only one. Okay. We went to go see them. I told them who I was. They said, "Is you a realtor? Are you with a realtor?" I said, "Yes, we're with a realtor." My wife looks exactly like her sister, so she just said, "Yeah, I'm her." Great. We started walking through. Great. The Monday rolls around. Builder calls me, not the receptionist girl that I talked with. Builder, and he says, "Hey, man, it's great. You're going to do this. I'm sure you're going to get a discount on your end, because you're the preferred lender. I'm sure this is great. Okay, So listen, I see you didn't come in with a realtor, so let's just get this done. I'm going to fax you some paperwork. I'm like, well, wait a minute. We did come in with a realtor. And he's like, oh, that's not what my on-site said. Who was his daughter, by the way? That's not what my on-site said. She said that you didn't have a realtor. Okay, dude, I'm in the industry, brother. I know what to say, right, and what to do. Like I'm. Oh my lord. So she or he is flat out lying. So I explained it to him. I said, listen, man. That was my sister-in-law who was the realtor. So that's really not going to fly. And she was there. I lied a little bit. So she was there, and I mean, they look exactly the same. And so I don't really know what this is about, but we had signed something when we were there, but we checked the box that there was a realtor and wrote in her name and her info and all that. And he's like, well, you know what? How about you just get me this time? I'll get you next time. Are you kidding me? Well, suffice to say, I wasn't going to get that place without her getting paid, because mom's not going to give us the down payment if her daughter got screwed out of the deal, right? It's not that she was doing it for that, but I mean, it's a bad taste in your mouth, right?
Yep.
And that was a builder that we were personally on the level with. We had lunch with, once every couple months. Okay, and by the way, it wasn't this environment either. That was 2013.
Yeah, that was a lot different environment back then.
Okay, so any of your buyer agents or buyers out there talking about going to builders saying I can negotiate, I would tell them it's not so much a negotiation today as much as it is like an auction kind of setting where you're with like 30 people trying to negotiate amongst them as well as the builder, right? Like, good luck.
There are builders right now that are selling lots on option as an auction.
And yeah,
that is shade. Yeah,
I've never enjoyed the builders. I've never enjoyed any of it. When you get into the inside baseball part of the lending, most lenders are like, oh, dude, you got to be the preferred lender for a builder. You get like 20 closings a month. And then what they don't tell you is that you have to do all the loans for about 1/3 of what you would normally do a loan. And you have to do about 3 or 4 times the volume, which also requires you to hire 2 or 3 people, which means you barely make any more money anyways, and you're always constantly losing your hair. You know what I mean?
And you don't have time to give people the service that you
or your kids or your family, right?
Yeah.
So it's ugly. The whole thing is ugly. I never liked it. I'm not allowed to disparage lenders, so I'm not directly, but I don't like the whole builder-lender relationship thing.
I'll kind of back up and kind of backpedal that a little bit. Here's a couple of other things that you need to know about builders in that industry. One, there's some amazing people in the industry. Especially the sales reps. I've got awesome relationships with a lot of these sales reps. I mean, they just, by and large, they really do want to do the right thing. Do they have to do things that they don't want to do sometimes because the builder tells them that? Yes, they absolutely do. When you start dealing with the management people and the people that are higher up, that's where you start running into the really odd things and the things that make you want to cringe. And generally, the bigger the builder, the bigger the headache when it comes to that. Again, not always, but generally. One of the worst, well, no, it's the best kept secret from everybody else that's not a realtor. There are builders, and this is what Steve was probably running into. There are builders who will additionally compensate their sales reps if there's not a lender or not a realtor in the deal. So a standard builder is going to pay me anywhere between 2 and 4% on a deal. But I know, and I'm not going to say which builders they are, but there are builders in the Dripping Springs area, definitely in the Austin market, that will additionally compensate their sales reps 2% if there's not a realtor on the deal. I've had on-site sales reps cut me out of deals knowing that I was the realtor. And once the contract was in, miraculously, they can't add me to the deal anymore, even though that damn sales rep knew that I was on there. Right. So needless to say, I had probably 7 or 8 other clients that wanted to go to that builder. And I told them, absolutely not. There's no way we're going to that builder. They're the worst builder in Central Texas.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little bitter.
And you should be, but that's also the beauty of a free market, right?
Yep.
You screw everybody, then everybody knows not to go use you, right? I mean, that's just kind of how it works.
That's right. And the other thing that's pretty funny is in times like this, the builders are all not wanting to work with agents, but when it's 2013 and 2011,
paying you 5%,
they are begging. Yeah, they're paying us, 4, 5, 6% to bring people in to buy their houses.
Great
And it's pretty funny. It's interesting.
So I took a bunch of screenshots of other articles instead of actually getting the articles, but I took a bunch of screenshots of other articles every 2 months. So I went December, and then I started with March, and then I went May, July, September, November, and I'll tell you, every single end of month headline was exactly the same.
Okay.
Okay. You wanna I'm gonna read one to you, but you wanna guess what they said?
Wait a second. Michael, I don't say that to scare the hell out of anybody. It's just you need to have your eyes open when you're it's a corporation. It's a corporation. Okay, go ahead. What am I gonna guess? Every 2 months. Man, for this year, I'm going to say that it's basically some kind of shock that the housing market is still cranking. Oh, hit all-time lows.
Every single one of them. Low rates have caused mortgage applications to rebound strongly lately. They're talking about the. I can just keep going. November 2020. Yeah. Basically, mortgages hit the best rates. So here, mortgage rates hit another record low as new purchased home loans soared. It's just nonstop. It's constant, all-time lows. Mortgage applications. Oh, you know what? Here was one that was interesting. This one happened in March when it hit. Mortgage applications fall significantly as coronavirus continues to hit housing market.
Interesting.
Yeah, do you remember that happening?
Yeah, but again, I guess we're so insulated that when I hear stuff like that, it's like, wonder where that's happening.
Yeah, I saw a drop off for a couple weeks, and then it started getting a little hot, and then it was like, that's actually not even true. My purchase business saw a drop off for a few months.
Right, but you had the refi because the rates were coming down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shelly's telling us that we've been on for over 40 minutes, so I guess we need to.
Is that too much?
I guess
it's probably too much.
It's a long one.
I got kids. Stop keeping away from my family. What are you doing?
Yeah, my bad, man. Yeah, exactly. All right, dude. What do y'all have planned for New Year?
Nothing. I'm staying here and playing with my kids and.
Well, man, you're out at here. I'm going to give you an assignment.
Please.
When it gets dark, what time is it? It's 5:45 right now. Days are getting longer, but it'll at 6 o'clock on New Year's Eve. Drive down to one of the boat docks or boat ramps on the lake, and just hang out and watch the fireworks for a while, because I think they're going to be pretty stellar along the lake.
You know what? That is actually a really good idea.
It'll be a good one.
Our boat ramp at our new build community out here was shut down because the water level is so
low. Yeah. But y'all, I mean, if I remember that boat ramp, doesn't it kind of look out along the lake? Like it comes out of a little cove and you can kind of see down the lake.
It does.
So you should be able to see some pretty good fireworks. I think that'd be a pretty good day.
I think there's a good spot we can get to.
All right, man.
Well,
cool. Well,
kiddo would love that too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I figured your kids would love it.
Well, sir, thank you again. This was a lot of fun. If anybody had any questions, too late anymore.
Yeah, you can ask them next time.
Yeah.
We'll see you next year, buddy.
See you next year.